Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello, guys. How are you doing?
Hi, teacher.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Hello, guys. How was your weekend?
Better than the last.
Yes? Okay, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Okay, good. Let me see how many. Oh, yeah. Everybody logged on quickly. Okay, good. Good. That is good to know. That is good to know. All right. Just the thing, guys, I wanted to apologize because I haven't sent you the corrections from your homeworks yet. There's been some issues with some things, okay? But I will do it between today and tomorrow, okay? Another thing that is important to keep in mind is that from this week, the tasks, the homeworks that you have are not for extra points any longer. Okay, so starting this week, everything that we do is completely obligatory, mandatory. Okay. Okay. Entonces, las tareas que hemos hecho hasta el momento han servido, por si acaso les digo, ¿no? Han servido para puntos extra, pero de aquí en más sí serán tareas que entren al promedio obligatoriamente. Quiero decir con eso que si no cumplen con alguna de estas, pues obviamente va a perjudicar a sus notas, ¿no? Entonces, de aquí en más no es opcional, ¿sí? Pero bueno, eso no quita que no haya sido importante el trabajo que han hecho hasta el momento en casa, ¿no? Ya que, bueno, primero, lo más importante es buena práctica y le sirve para aprender, pues, ¿no es cierto? Para continuar desarrollando su inglés. It helps you to keep developing your English as much as possible. Y también estos puntos extra, obviamente, son un beneficio para su nota también, ¿no es cierto? Right? Okay, so let's continue now, but let's have a quick overview of something that we saw in previous classes, okay? So let's quickly review something, okay? Let's quickly review something. Remember, how do you say this, for example? And this is what you did on your videos, right? And I saw some of I saw your videos already. I haven't sent you the feedback, and most of them were pretty good. But how do you express that you need something done, but somebody else does it for you? Same example as we did in previous classes. How would you say, for example, in English, me corté el pelo? How do you say that in English?
I had a haircut.
I had a haircut. That's right. Oh, I had my hair cut. Noten que si dijera literalmente como en español, I cut my hair, ya saben ustedes, esto es que yo cogí la tijera y me corté el pelo, pues, ¿no es cierto? Right? Something that I haven't done in a while, as you can see. All right. Now, how would you say this? El Andrés hizo pintar su casa. Mandó a pintar su casa. How would you say that in English? How would you say that?
He got his house painted.
Yes, very good. Andres had his house painted. Okay, yeah, just remembering that a little bit. Okay, very good. Now, in the last class, we were checking the forms of making suggestions. Remember that? We were checking some forms to make suggestions. And if we remember that a little bit, let me just open a page here so that you can see. Okay. There is a lawn mower around. Por allá hay una. Apparently they are mowing the lawn. Están podando el césped por ahí. Right?
Here in my house, sorry.
Okay, never mind. It's okay. All right. Well, let me see. Sorry, my computer is a little bit slow today. And I am too, I guess. Let me see. Come on. Word. Just a second. Just a second here, guys. Okay, there we go. Okay, so in a previous class, we were checking forms in which we can make suggestions, right? For example, I mean, and we were checking a little bit of the structure, the grammar that we can apply in these cases, right? Like, for example, I'm gonna make silence your microphones for a moment, just for a second, okay? And I'm gonna stop my video too, just in case the connection is not very good, okay? In order to help with that a little bit, all right? Just a second. And there we go, okay? So if we remember this very quickly, in order to make suggestions, well, first of all, just to remember, probably you know this already, but suggestions means sugerencias, right? Okay, so when you make suggestions, there are different ways of making suggestions, right? One of these forms to make suggestions is using certain expressions and the gerund, right? Another is using modal verbs. Another is using infinitives, right? And another is using negative questions. Like, for example, let's make the same suggestion in different forms, in different manners, okay? Let's suppose, I don't know. Let's suppose you want to learn how to, I don't know, how to communicate in public. Let's suppose you are very afraid of communicating in public, and you say that. I'm afraid of public speaking, all right? Let's suppose you say that. I'm afraid of public speaking. What can I do? What can I do, right? And somebody else gives you this suggestion, right? Like, for example, maybe you could practice with your family, okay? Maybe that is an advice, right? A piece of advice, a suggestion. Maybe you could, and this would be the modal verb, okay? So one way to do this is with modals, okay? If we remember what modals are, well, they are verbs like this, the modal verbs. Can, could, should, would. Remember we were checking this in the previous class? Might, may, must, amongst others. And there are others, okay? But these are some of the most important. However, for this case in particular, maybe the ones that we can use the most, I'm sorry, I'm missing a T here. Okay, there we go. Maybe the ones that could be the most useful are could and should, right? So maybe you should, or maybe you could practice with your family, just as an idea, right? Because I don't know, maybe you feel more comfortable with your family. So that is just an advice that I am thinking about right now that would make you improve this aspect of your life, right? If somebody says, just as an example, I'm afraid of public speaking, what can I do? Well, this would be a way to make a suggestion. Now, I'm going to make the same suggestion. So this would be the modal verb, right? That is the modal, the could. Remember that the pronunciation of this is not cool or cold or something like that. The pronunciation is could, as if you would spell it like this, right? That would be the pronunciation. So it's like should, could, would, what we were practicing last class, right? Very good. So that is one way to make a suggestion. Another way to make a suggestion is using expressions that go with gerunds. In your book, it only said gerunds. In your book, it only said gerunds. But I think it is more accurate, more precise to say expressions that go with gerunds. Like, for example, I'm going to use the same advice. I'm going to use the same piece of advice, okay? This looks better here, actually. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm going to give you the same example. Like, let's say, sorry. What about practicing with your family, all right? What about practicing with your family? And notice that in this case, I establish it as a question, right? ¿Y qué tal si practicas con tu familia, no? What about practicing with your family? Notice this. When you have what about, don't forget that this is like saying, ¿y qué tal? ¿Qué hay de? No? For example, so what should we eat tonight? What about pizza? ¿Qué tal pizza? No? Just to give options, right? To give options. So what about ¿qué tal? What about practicing with your family? ¿Qué tal si practicas con tu familia? But remember this, and this also goes with the grammar review that we were doing on previous classes. After prepositions, a verb has to go with ing. The verb must be a gerund. So that means after about, which is a preposition, you need to use the ing. Therefore, expressions that go with gerunds, by expression, I mean the what about, okay? And after the word about, since it is a preposition, I say it again, then this verb that comes next has to have an ing, has to be a gerund, okay? So what about practicing with your family? ¿Qué tal si practicas con tu familia? What could be a mistake here? What about practice with your family? So this would be wrong. There's a mistake here because you have the about, okay? So the preposition, if we remember what prepositions are, they are the words that indicate the relationship between two things. Like, for example, what are prepositions? What words are examples of prepositions? You can have words like for, from, between, behind, above, below, through, after, before, with. With is also a preposition. And also about, right? So after about or after any preposition, you need ing. So don't forget that, okay? So that would be the thing. And besides what about, another very common expression is this one. Have you thought? I make use of a present perfect here, right? Have you thought? If we remember this would be has pensado. Remember that? Has pensado. So, have you thought? Has pensado. Thought is the participle of think. Don't forget that, right? Entonces, como thought es el participio, sería pensado. Bueno, en este caso en particular, thought también es el pasado simple, ¿no? Es así, think, thought, y thought nuevamente, ¿no? Y bueno, el gerundio, como teníamos en nuestra listita, obviamente sería thinking. Pero el pasado simple y el participio, the past simple and the past participle are thought, thought. Noten que la TH suena como la Z de los españoles, ¿no? Como cuando un español dice zorro, zapato, no dicen zorro, zapato, ¿no es cierto? Sino dicen zorro o zapato, poniendo la lengua con los dientes, ¿no? Entonces, thought. La GHT, me estoy haciendo un pequeño paréntesis de pronunciación de una vez, cuando tengan GHT en inglés, las palabras con GHT típicamente omiten el sonido de la G, de la GH. Entonces aquí esta GH no suena para nada. El sonido es thought, thought. Como si un español leyera esto. No nosotros, pero como si un español leyera Z-O-T, ¿no? Así como en español no dice zorro, sino zorro, no dice zapato, sino zapato, pues aquí también thought, ¿ok? Este es el sonido que queremos. All right? So that is the thing. So, thought. Okay, going back to this. So, have you thought as el participio, pensado. Recuerden que los participios son ado, ido, ¿no es cierto? Have you thought, has pensado, have you thought about. En español, lo más típico sería, o sea, mejor dicho, lo que pensaría literalmente es have you thought in, ¿no es cierto? Has pensado en. Pero en inglés no suelo decir have you thought in, sino en inglés lo que típicamente digo para has pensado en algo, have you thought about. Have you thought about, and again, I have about, so one more time, I need a gerund after this. Have you thought about practicing with your family? Have you thought about practicing with your family? Okay, so I'm gonna erase this for a moment. So expressions that go with gerunds. Remember, you have about here, you have about here. So this verb has to be a gerund. Okay, this verb has to be a gerund. Don't forget that. Now, another case, or let's say another way in which you can make suggestions is using negative questions, okay? Negative questions. Now, what is a negative question? For example, if I say, I don't know, why do you, I don't know, why do you do that? Esto significaría, ¿por qué haces eso? ¿No es cierto? Sería la pregunta típica. Why do you do that? Bueno, este segundo verbo, this second do is the verb, and the first do, as you know, is the auxiliary in this case, right? So, what do you do? Why do you do that? ¿Por qué haces eso? Esa sería una pregunta típica, pero si le quiero hacer pregunta negativa, pues simplemente al auxiliar do, le hago don't. Why don't you do that? All right? ¿Y qué sería? Si why do you do that es ¿por qué haces eso? Pues seguramente como ustedes ya están pensando, why don't you do that es ¿por qué no haces eso? All right? Como dando una opción. ¿Por qué no haces eso? ¿Por qué no ves esa película? ¿Por qué no hablas con él? ¿No? So just like in Spanish, this is not very different from Spanish. No es diferente al español. Es otra forma en la que podemos hacer sugerencias. All right? So let's use the same example. Mismo ejemplo, les estoy poniendo el mismo ejemplo de las distintas maneras, ¿no? ¿Qué tal si practicas con tu familia? Tal vez podrías practicar con tu familia. Pues aquí también voy a poner la misma cosa, ¿no es cierto? I'm gonna do the same thing. So, negative questions. Why, sorry, there we go. Why don't you practice with your family? ¿Por qué no practicas con tu familia? So, the don't makes it negative, right? Why don't you? And of course, in this case, the verb has to be in the base form, okay? Why don't you practice with your family? It's a present simple question. After auxiliaries do, don't, does, doesn't, and also the past didn't, then the verb always goes in the base form. Don't forget that. Also here, after the modal verb, the next verb is always a base form verb, an infinitive. Okay, very good. So why don't you practice with your family? That is a negative question. Now, another way of making this is with infinitives. Like, for example, this. I think it's a good idea, creo que es buena idea. I think it's a good idea to practice with your family, okay? I think it's a good idea to practice with your family. So in this case, for this expression, I'm going to make it more precise. Expressions with infinitives. Remember that the infinitive can be, as I told you in the last class, the infinitive, there are two forms of infinitives, right? The bare infinitive, el infinitivo básico, es solamente el verbo en su forma base, ¿no? Por ejemplo, practice, play, work. Y el infinitivo completo, the full infinitive, has two: to practice, to play, to work. Okay, so let's say with full infinitives, okay? Con infinitivos completos para que recuerden que es el to más la forma base, to plus the base form. Eso sería el infinitivo completo. El infinitivo básico sería solamente la forma base, ¿no? All right, very good. As we saw in the previous class. So I think it's a good idea to practice with your family. Now, basically, these are the forms. What is the main difference between all of these is the kind of verb that you use. All right, so remember, with a modal, you need to use a verb in the base form. For example, practice. With when you have these expressions with about, what about, have you thought about, the verb needs a gerund, an ing. If you make a negative question, since you have a don't usually for this case, because it's why don't you, ¿por qué no haces esto? ¿Por qué no practicas? ¿Por qué no viajas? Etc. Then, since you have the don't, this is also going to be base form. That's why I put it in blue, remember? And also you have these expressions that need the full infinitives, which this is the base form, but you also have the to, okay? Let's put the to in red here, okay? So don't forget, this to is completely necessary there. So let's write other examples of options that we have here. For example, the option, like you had in the book. One option is to practice with your family. Obviously, this means una opción es practicar con tu familia, ¿no es cierto? Right? You could say, well, I made up this expression, right? I came up with this expression, se me ocurrió esta expresión, ¿no? Creo que es una buena idea practicar con tu familia, pero también podríamos haber puesto tal como tenían en el libro. It might be a good idea, to practice with your family. It might be, podría ser, ¿no es cierto? Recuerden que tanto could, como teníamos aquí, a little bit more, okay? Could, as well as might, you can translate them to Spanish as podría. Ambas se pueden traducir al español como podría. Could es un podría un poco más seguro. Could es un podría más definitivo, con más posibilidades, si se quiere, ¿sí? Mientras que might es un podría, pero no tan seguro, más 50-50, en realidad no sé, ¿sí? Y también, bueno, hay una que otra diferencia más, pero no voy a entrar en tanto detalle de eso ahora, ¿sí? Sin embargo, it might be a good idea, podría ser una buena idea, to practice with your family, okay? So this is another very common expression that uses this. All right. So if we go into your book for a moment, well, as you can see, basically on your book you have the same options. Okay, sorry, let me make it bigger. It's kind of small for you there. So again, same things, right? Modals, gerunds, negative questions, infinitives. I just made it a little bit more precise, okay? I just made it a little bit more precise, okay? Now, let's do something. Let's take a look at this little exercise that you have here where it says circle the correct answers. Of course, for you, it's going to be hard to circle the correct answers just by looking at it on the screen. But anyway, try to do this exercise, okay? Think about it for a second. Think about it for a minute, okay? And then I'll open the microphones and try to tell me the answers, okay? So pay attention to the structure, what makes sense, but also to the form of the verbs, okay? Also to the form of the verbs that you have after the expressions, because that's also going to be key. Eso también va a ser clave. Key significa llave o clave también, ¿no? Key, that's also going to be key in selecting the correct choice, okay? So think about it for a minute. This exercise, circle the correct answers, okay? 1 through 5, de la 1 a la 5. Think about it.
finished, teacher.
All right, good. Okay, good. So tell me, what do you have what would be the correct answer in number 1?
Maybe.
Maybe,
You
that's
could
right.
say no.
Maybe, that's right. Because maybe you could stay in on weeknights. Tal vez podrías quedarte en casa los fines de semana. Sonó eso medio cruel ya que estamos en esta situación. But anyway. All right. So maybe you could stay in on weekends. Correct. Tal vez podrías quedarte en casa los fines de semana. Remember that stay is quedarse. Okay. Now, si hubiésemos puesto el one option you could say, una opción podrías quedarte, ay, como que me falta algo, no me suena bien. Si fuera con one option necesitaríamos, ¿qué necesitaríamos para que me quede bien con one option? Is, that's right. ¿Y cómo continuaríamos luego de ese is para decir esto mismo?
Could say in on weeknight.
One option is stay for you.
Podría ser, claro, podría ser. O sea, bueno, en este caso la respuesta correcta es el maybe, ¿no es cierto? In this case, the right answer is the maybe, right? Maybe you could stay in on weeknights, pero si quisiéramos usar el one option, tendría que ser one option is to stay in on weeknights, ¿no es cierto? Como lo que teníamos acá arriba que le señalo con la manito, no, one option is to y luego el verbo en su forma base, ¿no es cierto? Eso es el infinitivo, básicamente el to con la forma base, ¿no? El infinitivo completo, ¿sí? One option is to join a club, aquí también, si es que hubiese sido one option is to stay in on weeknights, también estaría bien, pero no, tenemos you could, entonces el maybe era el que me funcionaba bien aquí. All right, very good. Now, what can I do to get in shape? ¿Qué puedo hacer para ponerme en forma? Number 2, what is the correct answer in this case?
Have you thought
Very good. Have you thought about working out at the gym? ¿Y por qué no me funcionaría el why don't you en este caso?
Because we are it's a gerund, sorry.
Exactly, that's right. Correct. Because working is a gerund. So since working is a gerund, you're going to need the about. Now, how can you make this sentence, change this sentence to make it correct with why don't you? How would you say this sentence correctly with why don't you?
Why don't you work out
At the gym?
Perfect. Why don't you work out at the gym? No gerund base form. That's right. Very good. Very good. Okay, now, how can I save money? Oh, big question. Big question. How can I save money? Which one? Why don't you or what about?
Why don't you come up with?
Yes, that's right. Why don't you? Why don't you? Right? And why not what about?
For the same reason that is a base
What
form.
about?
Yes, correct.
Come
That's
up
right,
with
because
a
this
base
one
form.
is a base form, right? Since this one is a base form, we cannot use the what about in this part because after about, you need a gerund. Okay, very good. So why don't you? Now, let's make it with what about and let's make it work with what about. How do we make it work? ¿Cómo lo hacemos funcionar? Recuerden una cosa, work, ustedes saben esta vida y la otra que es trabajar, pero recuerden que work también es funcionar. Por ejemplo, si yo digo, this computer doesn't work, esta computadora no funciona, por ejemplo, ¿no? Right? So, how do you make this work with what about? ¿Cómo hacen funcionar esto con what about? ¿Cómo nos quedaría?
What about
Coming up.
Yes, correct. What about coming, ing, right? What about coming up with a budget, right? Do you know what is the meaning of budget?
billetera?
Bit es como presupuesto, presupuesto, ¿sí?
Sorry.
No, it's okay, presupuesto, right? Budget, right? And do you remember what is the meaning of come up with? Do you remember what is come up with?
Proponer.
Sí, por ahí va. Es como ocurrirse cuando a uno se le ocurre una idea, ¿se acuerdan? Right? So why don't you come up with a budget? Porque, claro, para el caso es ¿por qué no tratas de que se te ocurra un presupuesto o algo por el estilo? No está tan fácil de traducirle literal, pero come up with es eso, cuando a uno se le ocurre algo. Para el caso, un presupuesto. All right, very good. Very good. So in this case, the correct answer was, why don't you, right? Now, how can I learn to dance? Have you thought about, or it might be a good idea to take dance classes? What do you think?
Be a good idea.
Yes, it might be a good idea,
Might.
right? And why not? Why not? How have you thought about?
The verb.
Yes, the verb. Correct. Very good. Now, if we want to say, have you thought about? How do we make it work with have you thought about? What would be the correct sentence?
What about taking the
Yes.
Taking dance classes.
That's right. Have you thought about taking con ing? Ahí sí me funcionaría. With ing, it works, right? Have you thought about taking dance classes? Very good. Very good. Now, this is interesting. How can I build self-confidence? Can you say that in Spanish? How can I build self-confidence?
¿Cómo puedo construir confianza propia?
Exacto. ¿Cómo puedo construir confianza propia, autoconfianza, si quieren, ¿no es cierto? That's right, very good. Now, what about or why don't you participating in more social activities?
What about?
What
What
about?
about, right? What about? And why not, why don't you? Why not, why don't you?
Because you need the base form.
Exactly. That's right. With why don't you, you need a verb in the base form. If it was, why don't you participate in more social events, that would be correct, right? But since we have participating, then correct. It has to be what about, like you said. Okay, now, just in case, remember, you gave me the correct answers, but maybe some of you didn't get it right. So just take a look at the correct answers on the screen, okay? I can't make this window bigger, but anyway. So the first one until the third one, and now the rest, okay? So again, these are the correct answers, don't forget. Now, let's do something. Remember in the previous class, we listened to this conversation that we had here. Let's listen and read again, but notice the forms in which one of the girls is giving suggestions to the other, okay? So remember, I can't carry a tune. No puedo sostener una nota, no canto fatal en resumen, ¿no es cierto? All right, very good. So, aunque ahora, bueno, en el reggaetón tampoco pueden y con autotune solucionan, ¿no es cierto? But anyway. anyway, let's... Just kidding, no es ofensa, cada uno su gusto, todo bien. All right, very good. Now, let's listen again and let's read as well, okay? Let's listen and read.
Page 61, Exercise 8. Conversation. I can't carry a tune. Part A. Listen and practice.
Are you going to Lena's party tonight? No, I don't think so. I don't really feel up to it. You haven't been going out much since you broke up with Carter. I guess not. He's friends with all my friends, you know. You need to meet new people. Have you thought about joining a running club? You love running. I've thought about that, but they meet at 6 a.m. I'm not really a morning person. Well, maybe you could take part in our singing group. I've made a lot of good friends there. I don't think so. Remember when we did karaoke? I can't carry a tune to save my life. Yeah, I remember. Well, I guess you'd better get used to waking up early. Just think of all the cute guys who go running in the park in the morning.
Okay, very good. Now, let's do this. Tell me the suggestions that you can see there. Can you read just the suggestions? Look for the suggestions and read them out loud.
Join a run.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Join a running club.
Yeah, that's right. And can you read the complete sentence, the whole sentence?
Have you thought about joining a running club?
Yes, correct. Have you thought about?
And others may you go to parking or senior.
Correct. That's right. Very good. Exactly. That's right. And yeah, those are some interesting ways of making suggestions. Okay, now let's do a little exercise. Do you have your cell phones near you?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into the WhatsApp group. Let's go into the WhatsApp group, and I'm gonna ask you this. Let's make suggestions. Let's make suggestions to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend, okay? All right, so you're on the WhatsApp group, you're going to write your suggestions, okay? You're going to write your suggestions, and I might give you a little bit of feedback if something is wrong, but please don't feel bad because of the feedback, okay? Una pequeña cosa que les quiero decir es la siguiente. No tengan mucho miedo de cometer errores, ¿sí? O sea, obviamente está muy bien que estudiemos las formas de las cosas de la forma correcta, pero lo peor que pueden hacer es tener, por el miedo a cometer errores, no practicar, no hacer, no producir, ¿no es cierto? A veces por el miedo a equivocarme no hablo, pero si nunca hablo, nunca voy a aprender, right? Do you know how to ride a bicycle? Do you know how to ride a bicycle? You do? And you've never fallen down. Nunca se han caído. De ley que sí, ¿no es cierto? Of course you've fallen down. El que no se ha caído nunca no ha montado en bicicleta, ¿no es cierto? Right? Entonces, hay que cometer errores para poder progresar, ¿no es cierto? No tengan miedo a cometer errores, tengan miedo a no hacer, ¿sí? That's the thing that keeps us from learning. Eso es lo que puede evitar que aprendamos, ¿no? Entonces, nuevamente, vamos al grupo de WhatsApp. Let's go to the WhatsApp group. And I'm writing I'm typing the order here. Exactly, that's right. Great. Very good. Yes, excellent. Okay, very good. Yes, very good, Sebastian. Great. Very good, Daniela. That's right, very good. So everybody, let's continue. I want to see everybody working here. Very good. What Camila says. Very good. Very good. Excellent. What Freddie says. Yes, that's right. Yes, but on another way. Very good. Very good. Yes. And Freddie and Mateo got exactly the same thing. Very good, though. Very good. You might be more romantic. Yeah. That's right. Very good. Sophia suggests that you should be in shape maybe and be healthy, right? To eat healthy. Might be more romantic. Very good. Very good. Have you thought about having children? Well, that's a little bit farther ahead, but yes, good. Okay. And go to the gym too. Yeah, of course. Sure. Eat healthy. Very good, very good. En esta, Adriana, podríamos solo hacerle un cambiecito. Pongámoslo de esta manera, ¿no? Pongámoslo así. Pero está bien la idea. Why? En este caso, claro, esto sí no les di la verdad. No les indiqué antes, pero cuando tengan con el ser o estar, no le vamos a mezclar con el do, ¿no? Pero está bien. Why aren't you more romantic Ajá. Y ahí nos quedaría perfecto. Pero muy bien. Very good, very good. Ajá. Very good. Solo en este caso, porque es del verbo to be, no, en el to be no suelo mezclar con do y con does, pero la idea está muy bien. All right, very good. Y claro, también hagámosle como pregunta negativa, ¿no? Entonces, normalmente sería why don't para la mayoría de verbos, pero si es que es el to be, why aren't? Very good. Might be a good idea to go to a viewer. Okay, good. Good, good. Ajá. Como en Bob Esponja, el arrecife arrumacos que veo. Very good, very good. Good one, good one. Yeah, that's a good one as well. That's a good. Or yeah. Good, good. Uh-huh. Ah, what do you think about this one, girls? Very good, very good. Yeah, very good. I see some pretty good options here. Okay, good. Yeah. That's right. Maybe to be more in shape, that's gonna make you more attractive, maybe, or yeah, it's gonna help you meet people, right? Correct. Good. Okay, very good. Very good. Very good, Katrina. That's right. Yeah. Good one, Mateo. Pretty good. Yeah, sure. Good. Good. Okay, very good, Karen. Yes, very good. Yes, very good. Very good. Yes, very good. Very good. Yes. Yeah, that's right. Very good. Very good, Melanie. Very good, Karen. Yes, very good use of grammar there. Right. What about enjoying with her? Okay, very good. Very good. Yeah, those were some very good examples. Thank you, guys. Thank you for participating and for your interactions. That's right. What about say? Okay, good. Yeah. Maybe if there is somebody there in the math class that you like, why not? What about? That's your phrase. Good. Okay. Right. All right, Eric. Yes. Okay. Good. I'm not going to say anything about that. All right, good one, good one. Good one, guys. All right, now let's continue with, let's go for a moment into the next page of the book, okay? I'll continue reading your suggestions there in a moment. But those were some pretty good ones, okay? Now, let's go into the next page. And let's do a little bit of listening, all right? Let's do a little bit of listening. So we have this exercise that says resolutions. That is easy to remember the meaning of, right? What is the meaning of resolutions? What is the meaning of resolutions? What is the meaning of this? Resolutions. Ya, resoluciones, ¿no es cierto? Ajá, por ejemplo, lo clásico, ¿cuáles son tus resoluciones de año nuevo? Es como sus propósitos, ¿sí? También esa es una buena traducción también para esto, ¿no? El propósito, ¿no? Your resolutions, okay? So, can you see the screen correctly here? I think so, right? So, let's take a look at the, let's take a look at the options that we have here. So it says, as you can see, listen to the conversation between three friends on New Year's Eve. What is the meaning of New Year's Eve? Do you know that? What is the meaning of New Year's Eve? What is the meaning of New Year's Eve? No, you don't know? Exactly, la víspera de Año Nuevo. That's right. That's right, very good. La víspera de Año Nuevo, the New Year's Eve, right? So, check the resolution each person makes and write their friends' suggestions, okay? So before we do the suggestions thing, try to write what are the New Year's resolutions for each person, right? So we have three people here. We have Edward, we have Selena, and we have Hannah, right? So what is Edward's resolution for the new year? To get a better job or to start a project? What is Selena's resolution? To have more energy or to go back to school? Remember something, when you say school in English, you're not just referring to the school where children go, right? School in English is any educational institution, right? Any education institution. Like, for example, the university is also school, okay? So, for example, let's say you drop your major, digamos que dejan su carrera por algún motivo, pero luego deciden volver a estudiar. You drop out from college, but then you want to go back to school. Obviamente no significa que ustedes van a regresar a la escuela, niños, ¿no? Sino a la universidad. So school can mean that as well, all right? Go back to school. And what is Hannah's resolution? To fix her relationship problems? Oh, difficult one. What is the meaning of fix? Come on, guys. What is the meaning of fix?
Arreglar.
Yes, that's right. So, correct. Fix her relationship problems or spend more time on social media. What is social media?
Redes sociales.
Exactly. Redes sociales. Ajá, that's right, very good. No es literal, ¿no? La traducción, pero es a eso a lo que se refiere, ¿sí? Las redes sociales. Literalmente sería como decir los medios sociales, pero en español les conocemos como redes sociales simplemente. All right, very good. So, remember, for each person, you have to select one of the two options, okay? So, let's listen.
Page 62. Exercise 10. Listening.
Can you hear the audio? Can you hear the audio?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good.
Yes.
All right, good. Just one more time.
Page 62. Exercise 10. Listening. Resolutions. Part A. Listen to a conversation between three friends on New Year's Eve. Check the resolution each person makes and write their friends' suggestions.
That food was delicious, you guys. How many years have we all spent New Year's Eve together, Hannah?
5 years. I just posted our annual picture. Your mom already liked it, Selena.
Of course she did. And now my favorite part, New Year's resolutions. Edward?
I need to stop procrastinating on my big project for grad school. I still haven't started it because I get so easily distracted.
I've said this before, Edward, but you need to cut down on those distractions. How can you work with the TV on? And your roommate's music? I could never put up with that.
I know. It's hard because I get along with him so well, but he is a big distraction. And well, you know how I love TV.
Yeah, but you'd finish your project a lot faster without them. Have you thought about going to the library? Work hard for a few hours, then go home and watch all the TV you want.
That's not a bad idea. I've never tried working at the library. What about you, Selena?
I want the energy I used to have at school. Now I'm just always tired at work.
I think you need to exercise, Selena. You sit down all day at a desk and then go home and sit more. Of course you're tired. I found this great app that has quick and effective exercises you can do in your living room.
Yeah, but she needs to leave the living room. Selena, maybe you could start some outdoor exercise, like hiking, swimming, or jogging. You need to take better care of yourself.
I hate jogging, but I've always liked swimming. You swim, don't you, Edward?
Yes, and I love it. Why don't you come with me to the pool this week? Push yourself to start exercising 3 times a week, and I'll push myself to go to the library.
Perfect. That leaves us with Hannah, our social media queen.
Ugh, I need to come up with an idea to save my relationship. I think my boyfriend might break up with me.
What happened?
He says I'm addicted to my phone and social media. But it's my job. I'm a social media analyst. I have to constantly be online.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be working online all the time, Hannah. Everyone needs a break.
What about taking a couple hours off from your phone every night?
Every night?
Hannah, work is important, but it isn't everything.
I just don't want my work to suffer and lose my job.
You'll be better at your job if you're not always working. Try it for a few nights.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Guys, why can't life be easy like it used to be?
Like when we were 12?
Welcome to being an adult. Happy New Year!
Okay, good. Now, let's see. What do you have in number 1 in Edward? Get a better job or start a project?
Start a project.
That's it? So yeah, to start a
Start a
project.
project.
Start a project. That's right. Very good. To start a project. Now, what about number 2? Selena, have more energy or go back to school?
More
Have more energy.
Let's see. Yes, have more energy. Very good. And remember, you've given me the right answers, but if you make a mistake, don't feel bad. Pero si se equivocan, no se sientan mal, por favor, pero participen lo más que puedan, ¿sí? Eso es más importante que todo. Así van a aprender mucho más. All right, very good. Very good. But you're doing fine. You're doing great. Very good. Yes. Now, number 3. Hannah, fix her relationship problems or spend more time on social media?
no time to social media.
Her
Right. So with Hannah, yes, fix her relationship problems. This one was a little bit difficult. This one was kind of difficult because they did speak a lot about social media, right? See, she's a social media, she works with social media, right? So she spends a lot of time in social media because she works in that. But that is making her relationship suffer, right? So that is the reason why she wants to fix her relationship problems, okay? That is the reason why she wants to fix her relationship problems, okay? So now that you have the answers, let's listen to it one more time, okay? And this time, let's also read. I'm gonna let you see the script. Okay? So please listen and read. Okay?
Page 62.
Okay.
Exercise 10. Listening. Resolutions. Part A. Listen to a conversation between 3 friends on New Year's Eve. Check the resolution each person makes and write their friends' suggestions.
That food was delicious, you guys. How many years have we all spent New Year's Eve together, Hannah?
5 years. I just posted our annual picture. Your mom already liked it, Selena.
Of course she did. And now my favorite part, New Year's resolutions. Edward?
I need to stop procrastinating on my big project for grad school.
So that's right. I need to stop procrastinating. Do you know what is procrastination? Do you know what is the meaning of procrastination?
Procrastinar.
Correcto,
Procrastinar.
procrastinar. Así es. Y antes es interesante porque antes no existía esa palabra en español, pero le hemos adoptado ya del inglés, ¿no? ¿Y qué es procrastinar? Pues la típica, ¿no? Dejo todo para después.
Dejar algo para.
Correcto, ajá, aplazar, ¿no es cierto? No hacer ya las cosas cuando tengo que hacerlas, sino siempre los deberes, los trabajos, ir dejando para el último momento. Eso es procrastinar, ¿no es cierto? Have you ever seen that SpongeBob SquarePants chapter where he has to write his essay? ¿Han visto el capítulo de Bob Esponja cuando tenía que escribir su ensayo? So that is a case of procrastination. Okay, so that's right. I need to stop procrastinating on my big project for grad school. Okay, so yeah, that was the answer to start his project. Okay, let's continue listening.
I still haven't started it because I get so easily distracted.
I've said this before, Edward, but you need to cut down on those distractions. How can you work with the TV on? And your roommate's music? I could never put up with that.
Solo, como ya se nos está acabando el tiempo, solo les hago acuerdo de algo, ¿no? Put up with era tolerar, ¿se acuerdan? I could never put up.
I've said this before, Edward, but you need.
Okay, so I could never put up with that. Nunca podría tolerar eso, ¿no? El día de mañana continuamos, chicos, con este listening, sí, para no quitarles tiempo porque ya se nos acaba la clase. Tomorrow we'll continue with this, but you have a homework for tomorrow. It's no big thing. Es un deber para mañana. Vamos a hacer la autoevaluación, la self-evaluation que tienen en la unidad 9 del campus, ¿sí? La self-evaluation no es muy larga, ¿sí? Ya les voy a habilitar para que esté hecha, pero les digo de una vez de antemano, e igual podrían hacerla hasta el día de mañana, hasta la 1 de la tarde, o sea, hasta antes de que empecemos la clase. Les pido eso porque la idea es que de los deberes que vayan haciendo, ya vayan dominando y sabiendo algo antes de la siguiente clase, ¿no? Right, pero no es muy largo, no es muy largo. Debería tomarles máximo unos 40 minutos. All right, exagerando. That's, igual les voy a mandar instrucciones por WhatsApp este ratito mismo, ¿sí? De dónde está exactamente, pero de antemano les digo, ¿no? I just tell you, it is the self-evaluation of Unit 9 on the virtual campus. Okay, so thank you very much for your participation in class today. It was great. You did great. Good job, everybody. And see you tomorrow. You're welcome. Thank you.